So how'd you get started in mixed martial arts?
Mixed martial arts. I really started MMA about 2 years ago at Michigan top team. Before I was training like purely Muay Thai and other striking sports growing up.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now you have a fight coming up. Talk to me a little bit about who you'll be fighting and what promotion.
I'm fighting Nick Noble for Donofrio, also known as IFL. Um, it's a real big show at Joe Louis Arena. I'm fighting Nick. He took this fight on short notice. My original opponent backed out. He had a rib injury. So Nick is pretty much blessed to be in this opportunity. He hasn't done anything that like warrants him having deserving a title shot, in my opinion. He loses a lot, and he's gonna lose again.
Now, does this change much for your preparation, or is your preparation still remain the same?
I prepare the same for everybody. I always like try to be the best I can be every single fight. I don't really like try to worry about what my opponent's gonna do. Just try to like come become a better fighter every fight. That's about it.
Now, how do you see this fight ending against Nick Noble?
Nick's submission defense is real weak. I feel like he's gonna try to get me to the ground, and I feel like he's gonna get submitted if he does that. But I also feel like I can knock him out at any given moment. We've trained together in the past, and I feel like he'd be very silly to try to stand with me. His stand up is mediocre, not even
So you've had a really stellar amateur career. You've only lost once. You have several wins. After this fight, do you see yourself going pro, or what's the timeline for that?
I'd like to probably do one or two more if I could. There's still like things that I haven't experienced in the cage as much as other people have, even though like most of my fights haven't gone to the ground too much. So I'd like to just have more fights, more experience, put myself in more difficult situations, and probably take on a couple more tough guys, and then we can make that jump for sure.
Anyone on the list for you? Anyone you want to face after Nick Noble?
I'd like to fight Dustin since this is really his title. He didn't lose it. He just had to vacate because of that injury. So I'm pretty sure we'd like to do that fight. If not in the amateurs, definitely in the pros. There's another opponent that I've received, maybe that I could fight him in the future. A guy like Dakota Ash. There's really not that many guys in Michigan, so after these next couple fights, I'll probably just go pro.
Very cool. Now, when watching you fight, for fans who aren't really familiar with you yet, what should they expect to see from you?
I'm a really dynamic striker. I feel like I'm a competent striker too. So I know what I'm doing. I'm not just throwing random things. I have a system in my head that I'm trying to implicate in every fight. So expect technical striking, dynamic striking, speed, power, and I'm a finisher. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna grab a submission. I'm gonna knock you out. Whatever I need to do to end the fight.
Very cool. What is your favorite part about being a mixed martial artist?
I just like the freedom of it, like being in there. Anything can happen, so that's really what I like about it. It's just fun for me. I enjoy it, and I like to fight as often as possible. So it's just what I like to do.
Now, before you got in this sport, or even on the verge of when you were making your transition to mixed martial arts, who are some of your mixed martial arts heroes? Who are you a fan of?
Um, some people I like Connor. Connor's a real good striker who's taking his game to a high level. One of my coaches, Darren Cruikshank, he's also one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's really dynamic. Um, that's pretty much it. There's not really that many people I like to watch in MMA. I watch mostly kickboxing fights. MMA, I'm trying to think of some guys I like watching right now. I like John Jones too. I like his style. Anderson Silva, when I first started, that was like somebody I watched a lot.
Mhm. Now, you just said you were a fan of kickboxing. Do you see yourself ever competing in a kickboxing match?
I've had Muay Thai and kickboxing fights in the past. I do want to do it again. I miss it. I'm getting that itch. Just with the sanctioning in Michigan now, there aren't that many shows for kickboxing. Just doesn't make as much money, so not a lot of people have them. So I don't know. Maybe in the future, I'll definitely be open for a kickboxing fight, like Glory or something. That would be really cool.
Do you have any favorite kickboxers?
I like Georgia Petrosian's probably my favorite. Just as he's super technical, keeps his hands up. You know, he does everything right. Hard to get a beat on that guy. I like Ramon Deckers. Growing up, I loved watching Ramon. Just he's one of my favorites. There's a lot of guys. Nicky Holskin, a lot of those Dutch style fighters. Those are my favorites.
Now, you just a second ago mentioned Conor McGregor as a fighter you like to watch. What are your thoughts on Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather?
Ah man, I've been messing with people saying Conor would beat him just because I don't like Floyd. Floyd's personality. Not a fan of the way he carries himself. So I would just root for Conor. I don't think Conor can beat him in boxing, but I would love to see it. I think that would be something big for all fight sports.
Mhm. Now, if there was a dream matchup that you could compete in against any fighter, past or present, who would you want to fight against and why?
Bruce Lee, 100%. I just want to fight Bruce. I want to see like everyone like thinks Bruce is like the greatest fighter of all time, and I don't think he had any fights. So I'd want to test myself against him because it's like a mystery. You don't know if he's really 100% that good or not, but he's definitely a good fighter. I'd want to fight him. It'd be fun.
Very cool. Now, when you're not fighting or in a training camp for a fight, what do you like to do in your free time?
I like to be at the gym. Really, I don't really have anything else I like to do. That's what I like to do, and I like taking fights all the time. Maybe I'll take a week off. I have like very minimal hobbies. Like I go shoot my bow sometimes, go watch movies, hang out with my niece and nephew. That's about it.
Cool. Any favorite movies?
I like Troy and Braveheart. All those like war movies are awesome for me.